Welcome to a special Labor Day weekend edition of Over 50 TV. It's a beautiful day here in Cleveland, Ohio, and today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to deal with workplace ageism. And I think it's a very important or appropriate topic given that this is a Labor Day weekend. What I'm going to do is I'm going to explain that your age is not a limitation if you really understand how to approach it, and if you approach it differently. If you think your age is stopping you from getting that great job or even keeping that job that you want, that you need, well, I want you to think again. Because today I'm going to show you how you can overcome that nasty workplace bias with 4 unique, what I call ageism hacks that I believe could help save your job, at the minimum, help you keep your job, or maybe even find that better job, as I kind of touched on. Now listen, by the end of this video, you're going to be able to deal with ageism in the workplace. You're going to discover how to overcome it. You're going to know once and for all, you're going to know how to unlock your full potential. And my hope, my goal is to help you to finally realize the life that could be awaiting you in the future if this ageism bias, this prejudice wasn't standing in your way. Hi, my name is Lou Reyes. And what I bring to the table here at Over 50 TV is real world experience. I've run companies that hired hundreds of people. I've interviewed thousands more folks. I've been a hands-on manager, a CEO of my companies. And over the years, I built and led more than a dozen companies, as a matter of fact. I've owned a chain of business-to-business magazines, a weekly newspaper, a couple national trade show companies, some digital media properties. I've launched AI products, so I'm well-versed in starting businesses. I'm certainly well versed in hiring hundreds and hundreds of folks. So what you're getting from me is you're getting not theory, but you're getting real world advice that's shaped by decades of hands-on leadership and hiring experience and business experience. So today, I'm going to talk about ageism hacks that I believe could help you save your job. And I've learned these hacks over time. They didn't just come to me one day. I've watched, I've listened, I've learned. And of course, when you're hiring a lot of folks of all ages, well, you're going to learn a lot. But before we get into what I call career saving strategies, excuse me, what I want to do is I want to hit you with some eye-opening facts. And these are facts that are straight from recent news reports. They're from surveys, they're from studies, and these are real-world reports, by the way, from the last 5 to 10 years. And I think they really, actually, I think what they do is they just really hone in on the headline of this video. So when I say it, employers are dumping older workers, yeah, that's what I'm saying, and we've got the facts to back that up. So let's just dive into some of these, what I just call eye-opening facts, and I'm going to just go ahead and dive into this right here. And I call them ageism's shameful truth. And there's a lot more information that I could give you here, my friends, a lot more. But I'm just going to give you these, 3, 4, 5. Let's talk about the number one. In April 2025 AARP study found that 6 in 10 workers over the age of 50 have witnessed or experienced subtle age discrimination on the job. The EEOC data tracks around 17,000 age discrimination charges filed annually, and those numbers have been rising amid recent economic uncertainty. Now, here's the thing about that, though. What I know is this, and most experts will tell you the same thing, that yes, we do have thousands of folks who are filing discrimination charges, but think about all the thousands of people who don't file. Right now, it's 17,000 age discrimination. Now, we've also got here, it says older workers, this is number 3, are more likely to be displaced and endure longer job searches, averaging 26 weeks unemployment compared to 19 weeks for younger workers. So younger workers just have a better option, a better chance of getting a job, better opportunity. Yes, I understand what's going on in the marketplace today when they talk about college graduates are having a tough time. They don't talk about older workers having a tough time. They focus on the younger workers, and I don't think any of you out there are going to be surprised that that's who they focus on. The news media is what I'm talking about. And let's also talk about, or I should say, let's not forget the trends over time. AARP's 2019 survey showed 3 in 5 older workers experiencing or witnessing discrimination, jumping to about 80% for workers 40 to 65 in 2022. It's shameful. It's absolutely shameful. Last but not least, in 2023, SHRM, and if you're not familiar with SHRM, that's the organization it's called the Society for Human Resource Management. SHRM is the acronym. I should have written it out or had my assistant type it out completely, but that's what I gave her, and she did what I asked her to do. But it's Society for Human Resources Management reports that 26% of people 50 plus faced age-related remarks. That's in 2023. In 2024, AARP pegged it at 64% for workers 50 and up. And recent 2025 surveys are hitting 60 to 90%, depending on the survey, but you're hearing 60 to 90% reporting discrimination, especially tied to layoffs. It's shameful. It's absolutely, positively shameful what we're seeing. And what we're seeing is just, it's hard to understand, but it's been going on for so long. I don't think anybody out there is surprised that we're experiencing ageism. We're seeing it every single day. And for a lot of people out there, and I believe all of us are trying to feed our family, trying to have a nice life, trying to enjoy the holidays that come up, but yet we're victims, and literally victims. And I'm going to say it that way. We're victims because these are people that are ignorant, that don't understand the value that we bring to the table, and they don't understand that one day they are going to be in the same position. And I just hope they remember how they treated older workers, older job applicants. I hope they remember, because one day they're going to be sitting in our shoes. But you know what? Our shoes isn't such a bad thing. I got to say that, because I believe that. Because I believe this. I believe that with the ageism hacks that I'm going to explain to you and outline to you, and I'm going to do this briefly. I actually have a workshop, and this information today, this is from my workshop, but this is the more condensed version. But regardless of that, there are 4 ageism hacks that I talk about in my workshop, and I want to mention to you today, cover with you today, and explain that phrase, that when I call it an ageism hack, it's actually not an official term. It's something that's described, or a lot of folks describe it as just as a practical strategy. It's or a tip, or it's a workaround that just helps older workers reduce, or really, I guess, overcome the impact of age discrimination in the workplace. Now, all of us, we know ageism is real, and it certainly seems to be getting worse. Look at the trends I just showed you. But you know what? It doesn't need to derail our career. It doesn't need to hold us back. It doesn't need to make us feel less than, because we can fight back with smart, practical steps or strategies, and we can fight back against these shameful ageism truths. And let me go ahead and pull this up here for you guys. I'm going to get in here. So let's see here. And this is the reminder here. This is what I wanted to look at, actually, but it's a reminder of what we have to face when we are faced with ageism. But again, these are the shameful ageism, shameful truths. So now what I want to do is, I really do want to cover, I just want to show you the resume, the hacks that we can use to overcome ageism in the workplace. And I'm going to start with a resume and application hacks. I just want to start there. And some of you, I'm sure, have seen this or heard some of this, but now you're getting it from a perspective of a person who's been in the I guess in the war room. You know, I've been the person who's been hiring folks. I've been the person hiring people of all ages, and I always wanted to do that because I knew the experience and value. But let me talk about the resume and application hacks, and I'm going to look at it right now. Now, most of you know this, but I'm going to emphasize this. Remove graduation dates or early career jobs to avoid drawing attention to your to your application. Now, as I say this to you, today, I'm going to tell you that recently someone applied at one of my businesses and they were older and they included all the years of their early career jobs. I don't think it was all of them, but they included a bunch of them. And when I looked at that, I thought I didn't say anything because it's not my place to say anything. But when I looked at it, I thought I wouldn't have done that. Whether or not I'm going to hire that person, it doesn't matter. I just wouldn't put in your early career jobs. You need to take those out, delete those. Emphasize your skills and your achievements instead of years of experience. There's nothing better than to be sitting across from a man or a woman, 50 plus person who's excited, who's energetic, who's telling me about what they've done, what they've achieved, and the skills that they have, and they're proud of that. When you're proud of it, you're going to create that excitement in that hiring manager. And I don't give a damn how old they are because they're going to be excited to be talking to you if you have it. Emphasize your skills and your achievements. And use a modern resume format. And I put that word modern in here, and maybe I should have said a contemporary or whatever. But use a modern resume format. Now, let me make a suggestion to you. Take your resume, take it and upload it to, I'd say maybe even, I want to say ChatGPT because that's really one of my favorite. But I also use Grok. There's others too, but those are my two favorites for different reasons. If I'm looking for data, if I'm looking for polishing up a resume, but use ChatGPT. That's my suggestion. Take your resume, upload it to ChatGPT, and say, modernize this for me. Make this contemporary. You're going to have to put in some prompts, which are just those are the instructions you give ChatGPT. It's how you craft those prompts is really critical. But use ChatGPT. Put your resume into chat and ask it to spit out some different versions that are applicable to the particular job that you're going to be applying for. And if you have a question about that at the end of this video, what I've got some bonuses for you, some free bonuses, and I also have a suggestion that maybe if you need some help, I can work with you one-on-one. But we'll talk about that in a second. But use ChatGPT on your own. You don't need me for that. But if you need me for that, I do work with Chat a lot. I'm very experienced with AI. Created some custom GPTs myself. Done some work with that. So I'm fairly familiar with ChatGPT. So I shouldn't say fairly. I'm very familiar with it. Because I use it every single day. So let me get to the next resume hack here. I'll get out of this. I'm going to go to number 2, interview hacks. I just said resume hacks and I meant interview hacks. Position yourself as adaptable and tech savvy. You could say what I've got in quotes here. I've led teams through multiple technology transitions, so I stay current with tools. And that to me is it's so important to let them know that you're adaptable and you're tech savvy. Listen, I'm not 50. I'm above 50 by a few decades. Well, maybe over a decade. Let's put it that way. But I'm over 50 years old. And I just know to keep you interested, even watching this channel, which I get a lot of people subscribing every single month, and I thank you for it. Thank God for it. But I have to stay adaptable. I have to adapt. I have to stay tech savvy. And if you're in the 50s, you better be tech savvy. You better be spending some time learning it. And an hour a day, study, learn, be tech savvy. I've led teams through multiple technology transitions, so I stay current with tools like ChatGPT. I use so many different softwares, but let them know the softwares you use and put that in your resume. You also want to, as you can tell by me, show energy, show enthusiasm in tone and in body language. You got to do it. You got to combat. I think I spelled that wrong. Combating stereotypes. Maybe I didn't spell it wrong. Combating stereotypes about older workers being slow or less driven. That's what you want to do. You want to get rid of those fallacies. Get rid of that BS. We're not slow. We're not less driven. We are smarter. We don't need to be wasting energy on BS. We don't need to do that. So people might misinterpret that, but we don't need to do it. Interview hacks are critical, my friends. Critical. So let me get to the next we'll call number three, hack number three, which is my workplace hack. Let me pull that up here. Learning and showcasing proficiency in new technologies. And I just said a little bit of that, didn't I? I did. AI, collaboration platforms, analytics. Because I use YouTube, and YouTube's a small part of my business, by the way, but what YouTube does is it gives me analytics that are valuable numbers that I can use to analyze trends. And I also work with other softwares, many other softwares that have analytics. So I look at the numbers. I'm always looking at the numbers. I need to stay ahead. So AI, collaboration platforms. I mean, a collaboration platform could be something as simple being on a Facebook or a Patreon. I have a Patreon page too for one of my AI tools that I use, that I market. But collaboration platforms also build strong cross-generational relationships to demonstrate you can collaborate across age groups. Let me give you a little story here, just a quick little story, if you don't mind. I've had a lot of part-time jobs, especially building businesses. I'd take a part-time job, work it while I was, making a little bit of money while I was getting my business off the ground. And I actually did that when I started my first real successful business, my chain of business-to-business magazines, which went from 1 to 6 to 17 in different cities. But I work part-time gigs, and I've always, especially as I've gotten older, I've gotten to really feel comfortable around a lot of folks, and they talk about cross-generational relationships. It's good to be around young people. And when I worked at my last part-time gig, you know what? I became friends with a lot of folks that were young, going to Ohio State, going to Kent State, going to different colleges out of the state. And I became friends with them, and I respected them, and they respected me because they knew I really cared. And it's really, I'll tell you this little secret to cross-generational relationships. It's listen to people, be willing to listen, and don't just sit there and being on your phone like they do to us. A lot of them do to us. Don't be on your phone, man. Look at them in the eye and listen to what they have to say, and then respond. And that's how you build a relationship. That's how you build one effective way of building a cross-generational relationship, because the folks want to know that you really care about them and you're interested in what they have to say. So that's a way to do it. Now, let me get to the next, I'm going to call hack here, because I think these are important. And again, I cover this stuff in my workshop. I'm doing it not as deep as I go, but I'm giving you the real meat. I'm giving you the stuff that I know can help you to keep that job, so that you're not one of those people that, the employer looks at and like, oh, I can jettison this guy or this woman. I can let her go because you know what? She's not as valuable as other people are. So let's get to the next one here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Speaking of knowing how to do technology, right? So networking hacks. That's my fourth one here. My fourth hack for you. Leveraging professional communities where experience is an asset, like consulting networks or industry associations. And I cannot emphasize networking more than I will. Every single time in my life that I've been able to do something, whether it's building my publications, building my trade show businesses, launching AI programs, whatever it is, I made so many good connections through networking. And I've hired 50%. I said this in a video I just did this past week. Matter of fact, look in the description box. There's going to be the video that I just did. Was it last Tuesday? No, it was this past Tuesday. Boy, the week goes by fast. But I mentioned networking, and I mentioned that 50% of the people that I've hired, and I've hired hundreds of people. I'm not one of those guys on YouTube that is a former headhunter and has a channel. I'm a person who hired. And when you're hiring, you have a vested interest in that person, and you want to make sure you're hiring the right person, because you're losing money if you don't. So 50% of the folks I hire were because of networking. Somebody said, hey, Lou, you got to hire this person. You got to get to know this person. They could be really good for you in your accounting department, or your marketing department, your editorial department, in your sales department. I hired a lot of sales. I have hired a lot of sales folks through networking. And I find hiring salespeople, because that's what I've done all my life, knocking on doors, cold calling, businesses, homes. I've done it all. Excuse me. Hiring salespeople through networking is ideal. Ideal. So, also this framing your age as a value added. And this is something, when people see me and they see, oh, he's in his 60s, mid 60s, 70 years old, whatever they say. I don't go into the freaking meeting that I'm going into and let them even think about my age, because I let them know I bring not only skills, and I wrote it out here, but also perspective and problem-solving experience. And I bring what younger candidates don't yet have. And you know what? That's how I'd word it. Word it like I wrote it. I bring not only skills, but also perspective and problem-solving experience that younger candidates don't yet have. They don't yet have it. They may never have it. Some of them will never, ever have it. So networking is key, man. And go into that meeting and let them know how great you are. I've got these caps, baseball caps I'm creating. They're called GOAT, GOAT, the greatest of all time. You know what? Wear a cap like that. Let them know that you're the greatest of all time. If you believe it, they're going to believe it. You don't believe it, they're not going to believe it. Don't let them think that you're some person that's out of touch. You're not. Now, let me just say, if you have any questions so far, you can always message me, because I definitely am not out of touch. So let me get to the next thing here. I'm going to go right to it. I want to say this. If after watching this video, and again, this is a shorter version of my workshop, I hope that you understand that once what you once thought was a limitation, a disadvantage, it's actually a huge advantage. The skills and the talent that you've got. There's people skills. Even the folks out there that don't like talking to people, you've got people skills of some kind, some way, some sort. You do. But what I've done here today is I've just shown you 4 quick steps, 4 hacks to help you overcome workplace ageism and to help you to leverage your skills and your experience. And I want you to remember something. Remember how you felt when you're at work and you feel like they're leaving you behind, or you're fearful of your job. You're fearful of losing that job. Well, now I'm asking you, do you believe that age is still a limitation? Because it's not. Not if you follow some of the hacks. Not if you believe in yourself. Now, I'm going to close this video out because I've probably been going longer than I intended. I don't even know how much time I've been on here. 22 minutes. That's a while, I suppose. It's an interesting Labor Day weekend video, isn't it? Well, as I end this video, I'm going to say you're going to be left to your own devices. And my suggestion is this. Practice and use and leverage these 4 hacks. Utilize them. Learn them inside and out. But I will say this. But learning these hacks is not your only option for overcoming ageism, for finding that great job, that better job, that job that just fits you like a glove. There's another option. There's another option where maybe we could work together, where I could have a vested interest in your success, where I could help arm you with every great resource that I have to give you an advantage when it comes to finding a great job. And I'll say this, you can book a career coaching call with me. Now, these are paid calls. It's not free. I've had folks write me and email me and say, well, I thought your coaching was free, Lou. And I said, well, is your job as an accountant, is that free? No, it's not. And not being sarcastic, but value is what you get. You pay for value. You pay for help. You hire an electrician. You want them to wire your house or to fix a problem. That's what I do. That's what I do. So these are paid calls. We can do a one-on-one 30-minute call. We can do a 30-minute call that I think is ideal if you're somebody out there who's looking for a quick, focused advice. Say you want to resolve a workplace issue, maybe prepare to negotiate a raise. I love the negotiation part. That's actually something I've done a lot of. And of course, you can imagine owning businesses, companies with hundreds of employees. You're definitely negotiating with suppliers. You're negotiating with clients almost every single day. So I've got a 30-minute It's great for tackling a career issue. Got a 60-minute session. It's more comprehensive. It's often a strategy session where we work together. You and I, we want to plot a course for your future. Now, there are links to both my programs in the description box. You can check it out if you are so inclined. I do want to say that the 60-minute program is, I think there's a lot of value in it, but sometimes it can go longer than 60 minutes. And that's fine with me. There's no increase or anything. If you need to book another session with me, I'll work out some kind of a deal with you. But I've got a limited amount of time every week that I do these one-on-one sessions. I also do business startup work with business owners to grow their business, and I've been doing that ever since I've started because I built successful businesses. So if you book a call, you need to book it soon. There is you can see when you go ahead and into the calendar, you can see there's only, I think, 3 days a week that I can do them, and there's limited time. So if you're interested, you want a one-on-one with me, go ahead. There's a lot of value, but there's also limited amount of availability. Now, I said you're going to have a couple of freebies. Something that I've always encouraged folks to do is to get my free cover letter, that what I call a cover letter that hiring managers can't resist. The purpose of a cover letter is to quickly persuade a busy hiring manager that you're a strong candidate for the job. It's what I call, it's really a 5-sentence cover letter, and it does accomplish that goal. It communicates your interest in a compelling, a clear, and a concise way, in a concise format. That's what I'm trying to say. Most importantly, it just gets to the freaking point. As a guy's waded through hundreds of resumes myself, I know that brevity is something that hiring managers undoubtedly appreciate it. You can download it for free. There's a link in the description box. Now, if you're not going to use it as a cover letter, you can still use some of the components when you're writing an email, and that's what I think is so cool about it. Now, another free, I'll call it a Labor Day holiday gift, that's what I'll call it, is a free career aptitude test. I've been promoting Career Fitter's career aptitude test. This is free. It's courtesy of Career Fitter. It's a simple test. It shouldn't take you more than a few minutes to complete. I think it's a great tool that'll help you learn what job better fits your skills, your personality, and your interests. And listen to this, guys and ladies and gentlemen. You know what? You could be 50 years old and you take the career aptitude test and you're thinking, you know what? There is something here. Maybe there is something that I could be doing better, doing differently than I'm doing, something I feel like I do better than where I'm at now. You do better financially and you're happier. So career aptitude test, I encourage you. It's a free version. There's a paid version, but the free version I found is very helpful. I mean, it gives you another perspective and it's free. It takes you, 15 minutes. I can't remember what it takes. I've taken it a couple times. I should remember that. Anyways, there's a free version in the description box. There's a paid version, as I mentioned. If you want more help, then my suggestion is you take the paid version, but try the free version. I'm not here to sell you that. I am an affiliate, but my personal thoughts are you can get by with the free version. If you want the additional help, then that's up to you. So this is all I got for you today. It's a Labor Day weekend, and it's a day that I think that we've worked so hard, in our lifetimes, especially if we're over 50 years old. We've worked so hard in our lifetimes, and we deserve a day to rest, a day to relax. And even though Monday's Labor Day, which is great because you got Saturday and Sunday, that's fantastic to relax and enjoy yourself. So this is all I've got for you. If you are interested, subscribe to Over 50 TV. I've got another channel called Side Hustle Rules. A lot of people who are older, younger, it doesn't really matter. Age isn't a limitation here. But any age, you want to start a side business because you're not happy with your full business, or maybe you need some extra income. Well, I've got that Side Hustle Rules YouTube channel, and I do think there's a link in the description box. If not, I'll try to get it in there before I leave today. But if not, go to Side Hustle Rules with an S. It's on YouTube, and subscribe to that channel as well. So that's all I have for you. I'm looking forward to meeting if you decide you want to do a one-on-one. If not, you know what? Send me an email, and I can't. I get hundreds of emails a week, so I can't sit and offer spend half hour to an hour with a lot of advice, but I can certainly give you a quick take on something, and I'm happy to do it. But if you want to really dig into something, man, go ahead and book the call. All right, it's all I've got for you today. Let me see if I've got everything up here. I think I do. And that is it. It is 30 minutes, and we are rolling out of here. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the holiday.